So when people create a Shopify print-on-demand store, the most common reason is because they want to create a side hustle. And I'll ask you, what does it mean to have a side hustle? For me, obviously a side hustle is just something that would produce income on the side. It would supplement your primary source of income, whatever that would be. And obviously, a good side hustle is one that produces consistent income for you, right? Not just something that would produce a couple of sales, a couple days out of the month, but something that would actually generate sales consistently of any amount. And I'm not talking millions. I'm not talking about Lamborghini type money or anything like that. I'm just talking about consistent profits. In order to achieve a side hustle that is successful, you're going to have to understand a few things. The first and potentially the most important is that there are so many people out there attempting to create a Shopify print-on-demand store. They're jumping on YouTube just like you are, trying to find information, and they're having a tough time sifting through everything. And you guys are in a unique spot because you're already here. You already found the information. So one thing you can do is click the like button. And I'm completely serious about this. If you are someone who enjoys my content, you clicking the like button helps the YouTube algorithm to show this to other people, could potentially help them out, and selfishly, it helps my small channel to grow. So please, before we jump into this, hit the like button and help my channel to grow. So now that you've done that, in all seriousness, the first thing that you need to realize with print on demand, if you're looking to create a store and use it as a side hustle, is that you are going to be using direct response marketing. And the second is that most people that are seeing your products and seeing your stores are those that have never seen your stuff before. They don't know who you are. You're using direct response marketing, showing them your stuff and asking them to take an immediate action, which is hopefully going to be a purchase from your store. Now, direct response marketing is most often done on social media, right? Whether you're using some sort of a paid ad, right, with a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad or a Pinterest ad or something like that. Maybe you're using an Instagram influencer, or maybe you're just posting on one of your own social media pages that you've created for your store. And to be successful in this sort of environment, you need to do different types of things, especially when it comes to the niches, the products that you're selling, and the designs that you are creating. Now, take a look at this store here. This was one that I got from my Facebook group. Every single Tuesday, I make this post right here where I ask people to share stores, and then I pick some to review in some of my YouTube videos. Now, one thing I will say is that the person that owns this store, I'm going to give some constructive feedback here, right? I don't want you to be discouraged by this. And anybody else, if I ever review your stores in the future, I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm truly trying to help and give you some pointers based on my experience in working with tons of new people over the last couple of years. So this store is essentially a clothing line, right? They've basically created this logo, and they've begun to put it on a whole bunch of different products, right? They have tank tops, hoodies, t-shirts, and things like that, all with a similar logo that they created for their clothing line. And remember, earlier we talked about direct response marketing, which is when you use an ad or an influencer or even just a post on your own social media page, and the goal is to get someone who has never seen your stuff before buy your products. In this store here with this GDLVL, I think it might mean God level, with stuff like this is very difficult to get people who have never seen this before to actually want to buy it, especially at a $60 price point here. In my experience, there is 3 pillars to a successful print-on-demand store. The first is going to be your niche. The second is going to be the actual product that you are selling. And the third is going to be the design that you are creating. When you put all of that together, you have what is called a winning product. If you do it right, if you have a great combination of niche, product choice, and design, you have a winning product that can succeed in a direct response marketing environment. And like I said, this store here hasn't really done a great job with any of those because they have essentially created their own clothing line based on a logo. Now, here's a store here that has done a great job at this. So we're going to break this down. We're going to look at some of their ads and talk about some of the things that they are doing when it comes to those 3 pillars that are going to allow them to potentially have some more success than that other store. And my goal in showing you this is to hopefully help you either get started correctly or hit the reset button on whatever it is you're doing before you get too far into it. So take Look at this. This is an ad that the store that we just looked at is running. Now, this is a shine-on jewelry product. If you guys haven't seen this product, essentially what you are selling is the actual necklace, and then the print-on-demand part is the message card that goes behind the necklace. You can choose whatever you want there for your entire design. In this store has done a great job because they have actually selected a niche. They are creating a design that is going to appeal to someone who really enjoys camping and also someone who is in a relationship, because it says to my camping partner. Now picture this for a minute, right? Let's say that a man who is really interested in camping, who also has a spouse or a girlfriend or whatever that is also interested in camping. Let's say they're scrolling on their phone, right? They're going through, they're looking at pictures of friends, they're looking at pictures of family, and they come across what you're looking at. That is what happens when people try to create print-on-demand products and sell them with social media, right? I talked about direct response marketing being you using an ad or some sort of an influencer post or just a post on your own social media account. That person who sees this product is going to be connected to it, mainly because of the niche. Now, your niche is what initially is going to get somebody interested in what you are doing. I have a strategy called the niche multiplier method, and if you guys are a member of the POD Ninjas Facebook group, you can check out the mini course where I go through a little bit more in depth on some of this stuff, and hopefully that will help you to actually create something that is going to get somebody interested when they are scrolling by your product. Contrast what we just went through with this, right? Someone just kind of scrolling through their newsfeed and they come across this. There's nothing to get them interested in this. They don't know what this clothing line is all about. They have no reason to buy this. When someone clicks this ad and comes to this store, even if they've never seen lovethegifts.com, this store, right? They're going to be interested in buying this because it represents a niche that they love. Does that make sense? This is the key to print on demand, especially when you are trying to create a side hustle, like we talked about earlier, something that can make consistent sales. The reason I speak so much about consistent sales is because something like this is not something that you would be able to just launch and then start running ads or paid promotions and expect sales. Something like this, where you're creating a clothing line, is going to be a long-term play. I'm not saying something like this can't work. I'm just saying you're going to be using a completely different strategy. You're going to be going out, likely ordering a lot of your own samples and trying to hand them out to people to get your name out there, right? And this is going to be likely a 3 to 5 year thing where you're going to try to build awareness for your brand. What most people think they're going to do is something like this, where they're going to build out their store, they're going to launch and begin running promotions to sell their products, right? So that way they can make sales basically right away, right? And not have to play that ground game of handing out samples of their stuff to people at different events and doing a clothing line like that other store is doing. The same thing is true here. This is a different store, but same concept, right? They have basically, I'll show you a different image, right? They've basically created a veteran's wife blanket, right? Picture a veteran wife, right? The wife of a veteran sitting at home scrolling on their phone, right? And they come across this. They are going to be interested in buying this because they are a veteran's wife. It's because this store picked an actual niche. Same thing here, right? This is something that someone who's in the military, right, would buy for their daughter, because their daughter is a military daughter, and that is the theme of the design here. That is the niche. And folks, that is the entire game of print on demand, is coming up with that winning combination of niche, product choice, and design, right? And like I said, if you guys join the POD Ninjas Facebook group, I have a mini course there where I go in depth on this stuff. You guys can check that out. The link is down in the description. And also, here's some advice, right? There's going to likely be two types of people that are watching this video right now, right? The first is going to be someone who is brand new to print on demand. They don't even have a store yet, but they're excited because they have so many ideas and they just don't know which one to go with first. And then the second person, which I'm going to talk about first, is someone who has been running a failing store for a while. We'll refer back to this store. Now, I don't know if this person is actually having success or not, but I did see on here somewhere that they had established this in 2020. I forget where that actually was. Maybe it was on, in their actual logo, it says established in 2020. So I would imagine they've been running this for a little while. There are a lot of people out there that run a store and try to promote it, and then when they don't make sales, they end up sort of getting discouraged, right? And my advice to you would be, don't be afraid. Like, if you've already jumped into print on demand and maybe you've begun to start promoting your stuff and you're starting to go through various content on YouTube, whether it's mine or someone else's, and you're realizing that maybe you made some mistakes with your niche, with your product choice and your design, and instead of getting discouraged, you have to be willing to hit that reset button. You have to be willing to take a step back, figure out why you're doing print on demand, and be willing to invest the time in a new project, right? That is why it is so important. If you are that first person that I talked about, someone that is just jumping into this, that is excited about print on demand, that doesn't really know what to sell, that's why it's so important to actually figure that out before you build out the entire store. So many people discover print on demand, they get super excited, they have an idea in their head for what they want to sell, and then they go all in on it without actually taking a step back or bouncing it off of somebody. There is tons of different people out there, whether it's me, whether it's people inside of the POD Ninjas Facebook group or anyone else's Facebook group that you can use as support to bounce your ideas off of before you invest all of that time into something that might not actually work in the long run. There's no reason to go all in on the first idea that you have. And I'm speaking from experience here. The first things that I ever tried to sell did not sell, right? And most people that I work with have had some sort of failure in their print-on-demand journey, no matter how high they ever get in terms of what they achieve. They likely started with some amount of failure. So to sum things up, as we wrap up the video, right? Most important part is the niche, right? Showed you 2 different stores today, actually 3 different stores today, but the one store, the first one, the clothing line, right? They're basically creating something that is going to be difficult to sell in a direct response marketing environment. And then the other one is likely thriving. They are creating great niche designs, choosing products that the niche would actually want to buy, and then creating a design that would appeal to them, right? They're likely doing a much better job than the first store that we looked at today. So if you guys enjoyed this, drop a like on it, right? Like I said at the beginning, that helps the content to get out to new people, right? And also it helps my channel to grow. So I appreciate that. And that's all I got today, folks. I will see you in the next video.